It's a couple of days before the release of Mario Tennis Fever, and a lot of people are spurging out because this is the first major Nintendo release of the year. A lot of other releases are following after it, and so people are really desperately trying to say that this game isn't good enough and that it's not relevant and that it won't do well. All of which is just a giant cope. Okay, like Mario Tennis Fever is gonna do fine. I would actually say, considering how good Tennis Aces was and how long it's been since then and how good Fever is shaping up, it's probably going to do very well. Obviously, I'm not an expert on Mario sports games. I didn't grow up playing them until like Tennis Aces, actually Ultra Smash. I was not buying these games regularly. So this is actually only the third Mario Tennis game ever that I bought while it was new. So it's I'm not the expert on this series that I am for like most other Nintendo series. I still had to get caught up on Mario Golf, but I'm definitely at the point where I'm a bit more willing to able to talk about this. Because traditionally I just didn't feel like I knew enough about the games or played them enough to kind of have an opinion on them. But that's over now. Okay. The last Mario Tennis came out in 2018. Before the channel was even had even taken off, really. So this is like the first opportunity I've ever had to talk about any Mario sports game other than maybe Battle League. And to a certain extent, I kind of understood where people were coming from with Battle League when it comes to like the customization options and like the lack of features. There are things you can talk about when it comes to Battle League, right? Fever seems to be so far in the other direction that the attempts at trying to downplay it are coming off as kind of laughable, okay? It does seem like it has a lot of variety. It does seem like it's a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of things going on. It has a great character roster. Mario Tennis Fever seems like it's going to be a very, very well-received Mario sports game. And that's the thing here, is like the sports game, right? Everything looks great, but then you have the critics coming out and they're saying, it's just tennis. And to that, I really do feel like we're at the point where we can safely say this has become a trend. Because this happened with, golf, with strikers. This happens, I think, all the time, with these games. Like, you have people coming out and trying to criticize them for being sports games. It's just tennis. Like, what were you expecting? There's this weird disconnect between, like, fans of sports games and fans of Mario games where, like, Nintendo makes this Mario sports game, and then you have like Mario fans who think it's enough, not enough like Mario, with not enough of an adventure aspect and not enough action and not enough variety, and then you have like sports games fans who don't think it's like a well-made sports game. Both of which are objectively wrong if you think about it for 2 seconds. But like, this is the reality of it. Is like, why exactly are we judging these games by these kinds of metrics? Like, why exactly are we trying to say that Mario Tennis is a failure because you play tennis in it? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, do you think there should be platforming in it? Do you think there should be waifus? Do you think that like, I don't know, you should be like having some like puzzles in it? Like, I don't get it. Like, what exactly are you upset about? That you're getting a Mario Tennis game. And I found it very interesting how, like, the cope around this played out, because when this was announced, people were just, like, freaking out. Like, they're making another tennis game? Oh, like, the last one came out in 2018. This did not surprise me at all. I was actually saying, a couple of weeks before it came out, it's like, wow, it's been a while since Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't think it'd been that long, but, like, it was very successful. It did reasonably well throughout its run, and now it's time to start thinking about a sequel, right? I said that we needed a new Mario Tennis game, and here it is. So people are like sitting there, and they're trying to tell you that Mario Tennis is somehow bad. It's somehow disappointing. It's somehow like inherently flawed. Like, you keep seeing people do this thing where they're like, the Game Boy games were better because those are the ones with like the fully fledged like RPG mechanics and modes, and like I don't think they really understand what this is, that it is a Mario Tennis game. Like, it doesn't need, like, extensive stories. It doesn't need this or that. Like, it needs to have good, high-quality tennis. You know, like that's all it really needs to have. And the simple fact of the matter is, like, most people in the sphere just refuse to see it. Like, the people who play these games or like spurg about them online, like, they can't understand something so simple, is that it's a Mario sports game. You know, if you want to play like a Mario game, like a standard one, you can just play any of like the dozens of others that exist, you know. Like, you know, taking out like your frustrations on Mario Sports for not being like a mainline 3D Mario game, it's just ridiculous, you know. And I'm very tired of hearing this criticism. Like, this is like something that I think straight up should not be brought up at all. Is like, it's just tennis, you know. It's disgusting, and it really should be called out for what it is. You are just being, you would never see this happen to Madden. You know, you would never see someone come out and try and say that, like, well, all you do is play football in it, you know? Like, you would never, ever see anybody, like, do that, right? When you look at, like, all these other sports games, they all, like, are sports games. They're all about the sport. You know, they all, like, deal with the sport in some way. They all have their different takes on it. Why can't you let Mario Tennis be Mario Tennis is my question. And it really does come off, I think, as if the industry is very desperate to downplay these Nintendo sports games, because we saw something very similar with Nintendo Switch Sports came out, right? You saw all sorts of weird lies about it. Like, I remember that, like, you know, you had people like Chi Guy coming out and trying to say that, like, three of the sports were the exact same because they had a ball and a net. You know, never mind that badminton, tennis, and volleyball are completely different games. Like, it's like, you really, really need to stop. You're embarrassing yourself. I think I am just like very, 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 very frustrated at how this is playing out and how people are trying desperately to downplay Nintendo and the Mario Tennis game. And it's not even the only game coming out today. You know, we're also seeing like a lot more people come after Yakuza 3 Kiwami. And apparently that game cut a lot of content, including a trans propaganda side story. You know, like, apparently that game has all these issues. But I think the real reason people are coming after Yakuza now, after like years of hyping these games up as like the GOAT, it's entirely because the series has come to Nintendo consoles now. And the Sega needs to be punished for like siding with the enemy. You know, what was once a symbol of just like mature story-driven games that were never coming to Nintendo are now highly successful on Nintendo consoles. And what's happening is that a lot of people are like freaking out about it and are genuinely upset, you know. Like, we've gotten like several of these Yakuza games. You know, we got like the director's cut of Zero happened because of the Nintendo Switch too. So a lot of Yakuza fans are like trying to create this narrative that like Nintendo is somehow destroying their brand and their company, and it's just disgusting. I'm very, very interested in seeing just how all this plays out and what this all results in. But like, it does feel like game journos are gonna try and keep like the anti-Switch 2 grift like going for as long as they possibly can, and it seems like this Mario Tennis thing is only the beginning of this year's downplaying.